Can you all hear me?
Yeah, it's better.
Yep,
Okay,
it's
cool.
definitely better.
Okay, cool. So this meeting is recorded, and please make sure to be nice to each other. So I will first introduce why we need this meeting. I think it's earlier in this year, I chatted with Paris Pittman a bit about our contributors based in APAC area, since they were not very active to the overall Kubernetes community because time zones and other issues like language. So eventually we figured out that we should make a specific effort to address these issues. So I'm very grateful that you all can join our meeting today. So can you please introduce yourself?
So yeah, first up, I'll go and introduce myself. Like, I'm Arvind, and I work at a company called Elastic, the company behind Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, all these open source projects. Develop it and OpenFast and different groups like Jaeger, Pinterest, etc. So mostly into the data side. I do a lot of talks, interact with developer communities. So obviously, like the local CNCF group in Bangalore and other places like Shanghai. There's a KubeCon happening, I believe, in the Shanghai in the next week. So there are a couple of events that I kind of like try to join sometime. So mostly like all the speaking work and evangelism, etc. Yeah, that's what I do. But my interest is like open source and like working with developers.
Okay, I guess I'll introduce myself now. I'm Alison. I'm based in New Zealand. I'm a student at the University of Waikato, and I do I'm just around the place in terms of Kubernetes. I just want to get other students involved with it because it's really cool speaking. So this month I'm actually doing a talk about Kubernetes in the city that I'm based in New Zealand. That's Hamilton, and that's me.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Satyam, and I'm based out of India, Bangalore, and I'm working with Walmart Labs, and I have experience on Kubernetes, Docker, and multi-cloud. So I'm working on GCP and Azure currently, and yeah, I have given a couple of talks. I'm not a regular speaker, but yes, I'm getting more into it. This Saturday, I'm speaking at Docker Meetup happening in Bangalore on one of the sentiment analysis Stanford NLP project, and I write blogs. I have started writing blogs this year itself. So I have contributed a couple of blogs regarding Kubernetes, Rancher, and all that stuff. And yeah, I love to dig out more into the new stuff that is coming up. That's me.
Cool, awesome. So my name's Yang, and I'm from China. I'm currently based in Hangzhou, and I've been to this community for about a year. Mostly I work in SIG release and SIG contributor experience. Yeah, that's why I start this meeting. Yeah, very nice to meet you all here. So I believe many of you have interested in speaking, like talks at meetups. Yeah, that's very good. So shall we go into next topic about how we can like work on these issues. Anybody have any ideas?
So there's looking at this agenda, yeah, there's a couple issues. I think one of the big things is that APAC contributors, like it's hard, you don't get as much visibility, I guess, because of the whole time zone thing. Like when you're awake working might not necessarily be when everyone else is awake working. So, just raising the visibility. So that's just some comments on my end.
Yeah, that's important.
So,
So like for start this meeting, I realized that some folks based in APAC zone they can neither like participate during their work hours nor their spare time. For me, I can do both if I'm not too busy. But for some people, maybe they can only contribute when it's their spare time. I believe that's something true for many folks in China at least. So speaking of current our community documentations or the website repost. I'm not sure how many of you have experience about translations about those content. Do you think it is necessary for contributors based on your region to read those translations of content? It is necessary.
So Yang, you meant to say that like how do we encourage more people to, or how do we make people aware of contributing, know about more of how do you contribute stuff in specific regions?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I realize a large number of contributors from China, they contributing by writing docs, translate contents. Like myself, I did that for a lot, and I think it might be encouraging more people to contribute or make their experience better when they are working on Kubernetes.
Okay, I get that now. So specifically from the point of translations, I don't think regions like India doesn't need any translation because it's mostly English speaking people and they could understand and read from the docs. But they might not be aware of various things and dependencies, or even avenues like I could write to the documentation. I could submit a PR to the documentation, or I could host a meetup and doing contributions in different manner, not just code, but more than not only code. So from that point of view, awareness is an issue, and we could work on that. And similarly, like for other regions, like we can take opinions of others. But yeah, I could see that the agenda doc is, I couldn't access the agenda doc. So if you could give me the access, so I'll also take a look at various things that we are talking.
Do you mean the agenda of this meeting?
Yes.
Oh, it's actually in the event, but I can send that to the chat.
And just to add on, I saw, I don't remember where I saw, but there was some discussion that people are willing to contribute, maybe on Twitter, on some post it was there that people are contributing towards the documentation in Hindi as well. And folks like Arun and all, they'll be reviewing that. So I think some of the work is being done. Maybe yes, as Arvind said correctly, the awareness currently is not that much that people know that if you don't know Go, or you cannot contribute towards specific SIGs or Kubernetes project, that we can see how to do that.
One quick thing that we could also plan is like go and speak at meetups, like in general, the Kubernetes or OpenShift meetups, wherever the community is gathering to learn more about Kubernetes. So we can go and do a 5-minute talk about how this thing works, what are the various SIGs, and where you can take part in, and explain about contributions, value of it. So that way you could get more contributions and like spread the word. And yeah, that would be great.
Yes, this I would also echo the same, that the meetups we should definitely go and speak not only on the topics. Yes, definitely topics will be more of the interest, and also encouraging everybody to contribute more and more. Maybe a demo project they can build and then they can demo in the next meetup, something like that.
Yeah, cool. So from your experience, are there many meetups they welcome this contributor oriented related contents or talks? Are they welcome this content?
From speaking from a New Zealand perspective, in the town that I'm based in, the meetup scene is not as large as the other bigger centres, but the other bigger centres like Auckland, there is a lot of meetups around Docker and Kubernetes, and potentially a lot of opportunity to go spread the word up in those big centres. But yeah, that.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. So next, have you accessed the Discuss board very often, or do you think is bit of like not many folks will post their questions or discussions on the Discuss site of Kubernetes? For me, we started the regional boards I think about 6 months ago, but I haven't seen many traffic there. because people tend to discuss contents via other channels or groups. I'm not sure about situations in other regions.
Maybe from the point of the regional discussions, I see that the Slack is more active in general, and people like Slack. But I also saw that regional discussions may be very relevant. I don't see regional discussions happening more from the topics perspective. But yeah, this is something that we could explore and see if that makes people comfortable to ask questions or answer questions, kind of thing. Yeah, it's great. I in fact, if like discuss, I'm seeing the discuss like for probably the second or third time. I don't spend more time on this place. I more spend on like Slack actually.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel that too. So Slack is more like both users of Kubernetes and contributors are both very active on Slack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah. Go ahead.
One thing we could do is we could just raise the activity of what's happening and discuss, cross-post it over into Slack and say, hey, check out this post and discuss, or this is kind of our weekly topic. Start getting some more activity happening around discuss maybe.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good use of the discuss. I've seen folks use it like a place for archives, something like that. And I mean, questions too. I just don't see many posts there from users. So I think it might be more. It might be more active on Slack still. So a related thing is, do you know we have regional Slack channels, like we have CN users and CN dev and CN events, and that's true for India as well. And yeah, for Japan as well. So Australia and New Zealand, yeah, we have a user channel there. I believe we can post more issues we tagged with help wanted. So maybe we can draw some attention in those channels to potential contributors. Yeah, I've seen teams constantly doing that. I think it might be a good idea to continue that. So, folks, do you think you can write the rule book for us? Like, how can we do all the things we said, and what things needs to be done in the community repo?
So,
Yeah.
oh, you go. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, probably we could probably share some thoughts in a Google Doc or something like that. Something that we could look at. And yeah, Alison, yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So for the role book, yeah, I think just figuring out like our general purpose, the whole APAC contributor. So are we talking about an APAC contributor role in the role book? Or I mean, not APAC contributor, APAC coordinator. This is confusing.
Yeah, I think we can start this effort by using Google Doc at first, and eventually get that merged in the community repo.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's pretty much I want to talk about in our first meeting. Do you think are there any topic you can just start your idea?
Yeah, I would like to say that whatever meetups that are running locally, we can find that out. I think there are a few for one. I feel Kate's Bangalore is there, so we can actually align those people over here so that we are in sync with the agendas of this meeting and whatever the next meetup is happening.
Cool. I believe you can you can share our work in both the ContribEx SIG and the community. You can speak up of these topics at meetups.
Okay.
Great, Yang, and thanks for organizing this. I think like I'm happy to join. Maybe if the SIG chairs would join any meeting, we could go ahead and like do that and see where we can play out.
Do you mean you want SIG chairs to join our meeting?
Yeah, I mean, I meant to say that not like that, but if there is a meeting where they would also join, if there is like a global sync or something like that, we could join and hear their thoughts on what we are putting in a Google Doc.
So we used to have a meeting like more APAC time zone friendly. I think it's earlier than right now, about maybe 2 hours earlier. But at that time, we don't have many participants from APAC regions, so they eventually caused that. I think we can, if we can draw more attention, like after we have more contributors can join the meeting, we can definitely resume that. Yeah, that's a good point.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, I think if there are no more topics we want to discuss, then we can end this meeting. I will modify the agenda to take notes after this.
I've also put in some notes along the way while we've been discussing the things.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Hopefully that should help.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Well,
okay.
Cool. I think that.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this a good time for you to join maybe 2 weeks later?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be okay unless any meeting pops.
Cool.
Yeah.
Uh, Last question. I want to know which of you are going to attend KubeCon Shanghai?
So I'm supposed to attend, but at this point I don't know because like the visa hasn't come yet.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So yeah.
okay. I hope to see you there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool then.
Thank you all for joining this meeting. Hope to see you 2 weeks later.
Yeah, nice meeting everyone.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much for getting this all sorted, Yang. Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.